Hi everybody, welcome back. Now you've probably heard of a bag for life, but today we're talking about using this bag to maybe save your life, because in this video I'm going to show you how to grow potatoes in a shopping bag, so stick around. So in true Blue Peter style, here's one I made earlier, and now I'm going to show you how you can do it for yourself. Okay, so the number one thing that we obviously need to do this are the potatoes themselves. Now you do need to stick to the rules on this one and go for seed potatoes, because these are the potatoes from which all of your other potatoes will grow. Now if you're wondering why you can't just use a normal shop bought potato, that's because they're sprayed and treated with chemicals which stop them from sprouting, so they won't actually sprout and they won't actually get going. And you may be thinking perhaps you could use organic potatoes instead, but even then there's a question over whether or not they have diseases and so on. So it's generally best practice to use the proper seeding varieties that you can get over the internet on places like Amazon, also sometimes from supermarkets, and I'm sure there's some shops that are still open that are doing these. So if when your potatoes arrive or when you buy them they're not already sprouting, you will need to just leave them out in the sun until they start to do so. So you may or not know that you can actually plant potatoes in grow bags. You can buy special bags to put potatoes in. But because you may not be able to get your hands on one of these, I thought this was a really good alternative, because most people have got shopping bags like these at home. And if you buy the actual grow bags, they are similar to this. They're a tarpaulin based bag and they have some holes in the bottom for drainage. So that's the important thing that's missing from this. So I'm just going to make 4 little holes in the bottom of this, fairly evenly distributed and no bigger than the size of a marble. Okay, so next up we need to get some soil in there. Now potatoes like quite nutrient rich soil, so if you've got some compost that's great to put in there. Otherwise you can just mix earth, topsoil, whatever you can get your hands on. So now we're just going to turn this over and try and get that nice, fluffy, airy texture that we're looking for, that's going to help our potatoes to grow nice and big and strong. So I reckon I can get about 5 potatoes in one of these standard bag for life size bags. They need to be about 6 inches apart and about 4 inches into the soil. So then we just need to place them carefully into the soil, make sure that the sprouts are facing upwards. So our little potatoes are nice and snug and safe in there. So the 2 things left that we need to think about are water and sunlight, as ever when you're growing any vegetables. They don't need massive amounts of sun all day long, but if you can find a spot where they do get a few decent hours of sun, that's really going to help you out. And then we need to think about water. Now ideally you probably want to water them every day. Like with most vegetables, again, you want to keep that soil nice and moist but not saturated. So now that you've chosen your position for them and you've watered them, you just need to sit back and wait for them to sprout. And once you start to see those green shoots coming through, you need to start building the earth up around the edge of them, because that will give them the support they need to grow and also keep those potatoes covered, because you don't want them to come in contact with the sunlight, otherwise that can start producing a chemical and it's bad news for the potatoes. So they do need a little bit of daily nurturing, but it's not a huge amount of work. Also, you'll know when to harvest them, because once those green shoots start to wilt, once the flowers have come out on the shoots as well, that'll give you a signal that shortly they'll be ready to harvest. So a couple of weeks after that you can start to take your potatoes out of the ground. So that's it. That's easy peasy how to get going growing potatoes. I hope that gives you enough information to get going if you've never tried this before. If you have and you're an expert gardener, please feel free to share your own tips below. We're definitely not experts here, but we love giving things a go. And if you enjoyed this video, of course, as ever, please do give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and come back very soon. But we're done for today, and the beauty of having a bag for life is that now we can just go.